Dollars. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with Reed Dollars, but Reed Dollars is out of Philly, super dope battle rapper. Um, he was also in the music scene heavy too. Had a few deals at some time. But I watched his battle on YouTube, man, and then I just started clicking, looking for battles, searching for battles, and I wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying. And the first time I was able to do it in person was with somebody versus after school, and I wrote some raps the day before and killed them. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I knew I could do it. And then it was just, here and there I could get a battle where I battle somebody in the apartment complex for like $500 on the floor. Um, but I never knew that that was anything even going on in South Carolina for like to me to really take it serious.
Right.
So I was just always doing, I was always rapping, still making music. So, you know what I'm saying? So that was still my focus and was always my biggest thought process was making the music. And around 2015, I heard of a battle league in South Carolina called Barbarian Rap League. And I seen it once I seen the footage, I was like, wait, this is here? Like right up the street, like 20, 30 minutes away. So I reached out to him, signed up, and my first battle, I took off. Like I bodied the dude. They had me in a little it was called basic training for all newcomers. And I bodied the dude, and then there was a dude named Joe who battled for Barbarian Rap League, and he was like a vet there. And he ended up battling on URL and the major platforms.
Right.
And so he seen me battle, and so he had all I didn't know this, but he had already said whoever the top rookie was from that night, he was gonna battle to give a shot. So I didn't smoke this guy. So then, that night they like, your next battle versus Joe. And I'm like,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
you know what
whoa.
I'm saying? Like, oh, like, but at the same time, the competitor in me want that though. Like, cause I felt like I was that. You know what I'm saying? So if I could skip the line, yeah, let's do that. So I battled Joe. It was a 1 round battle and not a 3 round battle. And that was another thing I realized in the sport was, oh, there's 1 rounds, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right.
Uh, so I was like, okay, so it's just 1 round. We only going 4 minutes, and I learned that that's what a lot of the bigger names do with the lower talents. They give them 1 round as kind of like a showcase.
Right.
This is your chance. Look, there's people that's gonna be watching for me, but this is your chance to show what you gonna do. I'm not gonna give you a full 3 round battle. You gotta pay for that. You know what I'm saying? But I can give you a 1 round, almost a promotional. I'm still gonna be me and try to kill you, but it's 4 to 5 minutes, and then I'm out of there. Um, but yeah, we had a great battle, and from there it kind of took off. I battled on BRL for I want to say 3 or 4 years. Uh, Up until then, battled. I battled. I had one battle where I went viral. I called out Charlie Clips. I know a lot of people familiar with Charlie Clips, from Wildin' Out.
No.
Yeah. That was a very like big moment for me because it took me to another level in battle rap, where Charlie Clips was coming down hosting our battles down here in South Carolina. He was coming to host battles, and I noticed after a while, like he wasn't giving the same effort when he was coming down to host the battles. Like he wasn't, like some of the battles he wasn't even up there on the stage. Like he's still sitting down. You know what I'm saying? So I knew he was gonna be there, and I knew he was hosting, and I knew he wasn't gonna be standing up for my battle. So third round comes, I throw shots at him, four haymakers. The crowd go crazy. Clip stands up, comes up on stage, daps me up and like, yeah, man, you make me want to smoke you now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Give him in it was all out of love, you know what I'm saying? As battle rappers, that's what we do in the sport. So I don't want people who not as familiar to think it's like me saying I was coming at Clips in a
Right.
negative light. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Cause I rock with Clips. He definitely supports me and I definitely support him in what he do. So but that was just that's the type of gladiator type of things you have to do in this sport to show you belong here. And that took me to another level, like just his promotion and his cosign and people seeing that. And then from there I just, went on to be to get booked and battled, all over the states and battle some very dope, talented MCs in this culture. And I just love it, man. I love the sport. I love the competition of it, man. Because when I come from that era of every battler wanted to be the best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Jay-Z's, the Nas, not even battle rappers. I'm just talking pure rappers. Like,
The ciphers. How many legendary
yeah, like
ciphers you
I
can
I
go
come from that. You know what I'm saying? Like I get, this era of music is more about the feeling, more about the just the entertainment, the energy, you know what I'm saying? You could say four lines that's catchy and that could be the whole song. Like, you
It's
know
the
what I'm saying?
situation. I think people have very low attention spans nowadays
Yeah,
because everybody's doing this. They're
yeah, for sure.
we are for the generation. Like I said, I read labels on the CD. I wanted to know who produced the song. I want to know who the writers on the song. I wanted to know everything about it because it was just different. When you're paying that $20 to get that CD, you get an investment. And I think music has been devalued so much. But of
Yeah,
course, like I said, young kings like yourself are finding other ways to get to it. But the attention span on the young kids, it's rough.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's man, and yeah. That's why I say it's so important to, like we was talking about, to just brand yourself and what you're doing, because if people are invested in you, then they don't have a short attention span when it comes to you.
to what they want, right?
You're right. So if you're something they want, then when they're gonna give it their full attention. You know
Absolutely,
what I'm saying? Because you can't ask them to give their full attention to everything. It just is impossible now.
right, right. And also, it's a difference between at one point there were three channels, you know what I mean, and now
Yeah,
there's so many. Um, Everything's competition. It's not just music, but Coco Melon and this and that, and
yeah,
everything's
yeah.
fighting for a sliver of your attention. So you have to stand out. Now, we talk about making that crossover, and I don't want to say crossover because it's always in hip hop had a negative connotation, and I don't think it's negative at all. But crossing over from battle to making just your standard songs. You're making songs
Right.
now. Did you find that challenging at first, or the same level of preparation, same, or is
Um,
music just music to you?
I would say yeah. I would. I didn't. I would say at the time I didn't feel like it was challenging. Like as I'm making the music, it doesn't feel challenging. You know what I'm saying? Because I enjoy the music I'm making. Um, but there is a there is a time where as an artist you have to get outside of just your artistry as well and understand what the people want. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that's a yes and no question, because when I'm making the music, I'm like I said, I had to. battle rap kind of helped me. It kind of allowed me to get the competitive side out, so that when I make music, I'm not trying to be competitive. I'm trying to make great music.
Mm.
When I was before I started battle rapping and I was making music, I was competing, like writing like this got to be the best syllables and the best, metaphor and simile and but it's so technical that it ain't a vibe though. It ain't, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like but I'm listening like, oh yeah, but nah, like uh battle rap has allowed me now to make music where I still can flex my pen, but it don't have to be every line. It don't have to be every bar. I still can put the layers in there, but making sure I connect with the music and the sound of the music and I give them something that they can just nod their head to and feel and vibe and enjoy the music. You know what I'm saying? Not feeling like a lot of times when they say battle rappers can't make music, it's not that we can't, but a lot of times we overwrite.
Mm.
You know, a lot of times we overwrite. We so because battle rap is almost like writing a play. It's like
Right.
you're you have to visualize what you're gonna say, how you're gonna say it, how it's gonna resonate for the crowd, the timing of when you're gonna say it, the pitch in which you're gonna switch, the tempos in which you're gonna change, how many minutes is your round, uh, the aggression you're gonna use. Is this a jokey part? Is this a fan interaction part? Do I take time to let them breathe, or do I just go rapidly fast on this part? It's really a different type of It's almost like writing a script or writing a, So when we get into music, a lot of times we can't turn that off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're writing to every single instrument of the beat, and it's too much. It's overthinking. And I think that's the problem some battle rappers have. I don't want to say all because there are super dope battle rappers from Sue Surf. He makes very dope music. New Jersey Twerk makes very dope music. Even local rappers, not even local rappers, but rappers from South Carolina that's battle rappers, like Swamp. Um, T Top is from North Carolina. They make dope music. DG the Piranha makes dope music from South Carolina. And many more, man. It's a lot of dope battle rappers that can make dope music. But I do understand the stigma though, because a lot of times though the ones who made it the farthest, they do a lot of overwriting in the music. You know what I'm saying? To where you can't enjoy the music because they writing so good. You gotta listen too much. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people don't wanna. They wanna just enjoy. They wanna, feel whatever that message is you trying to get off, but not make them have to overthink to where they don't even hear the music because they hear your words too much.
Yeah.
So
And there's and I you said that so eloquently. And like I said, I'm a student in the game, not just hip hop, but music in general. To me, the ultimate artist was Michael Jackson. And he said
yeah,
one thing that he said, if a 2-year-old can't hum it, it's not a hit. And when you
yeah,
think of songs that become the biggest, they're very simple.
absolutely.
They're very, they may not have the staying power, but when you're talking about making a hit, and then you have your B sides that are, so well written, and it's
No,
levels and triple entendres and things like.
yeah.
But you can't play that at the barbecue.
Hey,
Nobody.
and what's so crazy at what you just said is because I now as I get older, like some of the hit songs that were hit songs when I was just a kid, like 6, 7, 8 years old, and I go back and I listen to what the songs actually meant, and it's like as a kid I had like I could follow along, but I didn't really understand what they were saying, because you know how they say like this generation of music is so like sex driven.
Right. That's always
But
been
that back listen, man, them songs back in the day, listen, when I got about, in my teenage years, 20s, and started listening to them songs, I was like, wait, what was
candy,
I?
candy shop was not about a Snicker bar.
Exactly. So it's like, but like you said, a 2-year old can, you know what I'm saying? A 2-year old can follow, no problem. You know what I'm
No
saying?
problem.
So that intricacy the battle rappers use, sometimes is used against them in music.
Yeah. And I mean, even artists that are not necessarily known for battle rap, but are known to, Jada Kiss, Nas for a time until he really linked
Hmm.
with Hit Boy. And people would be like, oh, is it the beat selection? And I think that's one thing that Jay-Z was always ahead of the curve. Like his
Yeah,
beat selection was like none other. He
yeah.
always had
That that's
the
that's
dope
that's my goat,
producers.
man.
Yeah, the
That's my
dope
goat.
producers at top of the, from the Kanye's, the Timberland, when nobody was with Pharrell, when nobody was working with Pharrell, Just Blaze, that ability to really be in front of the wave is,
Yeah,
high iconic for sure.
for sure. Yeah, Jay-Z, man, he's like you say, he was just ahead of his. He's always ahead, and
Oh,
that's what makes him number one. Is because you got. It's not just the songs. It's not just the lyrics. It's not just. It's the when he puts them out. It's how he puts them out, and it's always number one. You know what I'm
oh,
saying? Like it's always number one, and it's always different.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
you know what I'm saying? He has so many different sounds and so many different. Is his catalog is just it's untouchable. You know what I mean? Like it's
Second and none.
untouchable. Yeah,
Second and
yeah, man. Definitely. Like Jay Z is a big inspiration for me. And then the business side of it, like between him and Nipsey Hussle, man, like those two are the ones I follow the most, man. And like a guy like Nipsey, he was so ahead of his time.
absolutely.
It's just
I don't think
and
people really will appreciate what he's doing, even though it's been 6 years since he's been gone. I don't think they're going to appreciate what he was doing and what he stood for till probably 10, 15 years from now, because
yeah,
it you're just starting to see it come to pass today. Like companies like Even Biz, where artists is essentially how it was when I was growing up, where they were selling CDs out of the trunk. And
hmm,
Even Biz says that where you can have an exclusive window and you can buy it direct to consumer. So
yeah,
there's so many different ways that I just love on the business side, because why the musicians who make the music that impacts our lives. I hate that story of the Cadillac record story where damn they got upside down. But they've been
yeah,
better off somebody like Russ, who I don't really necessarily listen to the music, but I like the business side of it. And La
yeah,
Russell, other
yeah.
artist,
La Russell, yeah, yeah. He's
he's
another one, man.
both
He's
doing both. So
Yeah,
there's
I honestly found about, like you said, the business side. I honestly found out about La Russell on the business side watching a podcast. Uh, I want to say it was Dave Never Sleeps podcast, and because I was looking in my clothing line and looking up something about clothing and marketing, and then I seen his interview and it was dope. So I followed him off that, and then I start seeing all these music songs, and I'm like, oh, like, and then I'm like, he's using business
yep,
to get people to tune in and buy into his music, and so people are just buying into him because of who he is. Like
right.
I like who he is and
A dope
what he
dude.
stands for.
What he stands for as a man and an artist. And we
Yep.
had on the show. when he was on his 6th album, and I think he just dropped his 40th album, and that's been like 3 years.
Wow.
So you're talking about 34 albums in 3 years. Uh, Work ethic is
Yeah, that's
crazy.
insane.
It's insane. But you got to take those shots. You got to take those. Every person
Yeah,
that becomes iconic are extreme when it comes to their craft. You know, your Kobe's, your
yeah,
Jacksons, your Mike Tyson. They may not have the physical attributes because, like, you see a lot of people say, you know, Kobe turned a Volkswagen body into a Bugatti from just
hmm,
hard work because
yeah,
he didn't have big hands. He wasn't, you know, Vince Carter out the roof. He wasn't as athletic as Michael Jordan, but just that grind, that intensity, and thirst for knowledge about the craft and the
right.
business. He turned a Volkswagen into a Bugatti, and I always say a hard worker will beat great talent any day. You know, great
Yeah,
talent without
yeah,
hard work is not going to go
for
anywhere.
sure,
If you get
for
both,
sure.
world's your oyster.
Yeah, that's man, and then, like, all of those things we talked about, and all of those people like embody what my brand and what I'm about. You know, my brand is grind hard, never sleep, and is you know, it's a motto I live by, man. It's and it's, you know, never sleep on yourself. Like when I say never sleep, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's you people don't know what they're capable of. You know what I'm saying? And you really have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations
Yeah,
to know what you're capable of. You know, your limits only exist because we put them there.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you believe you can do something, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean it's gonna be easy. That don't mean it's gonna be overnight. That don't mean it's gonna be a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. But if you truly believe something, then you're willing to. You know, for me, the best part is the journey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The experience, the ups and the downs, man. Like, you know, I just had one of my worst battle rap feelings uh this past weekend. I was in a tournament for $10,000. The guy, I battled the guy, and honestly, I genuinely feel like I won. The crowd, majority of the crowd felt like I won, but the judges uh didn't feel like I won, and so I lost that battle. You know what I'm saying? And it really, really brought me down that night, that day. Like, I was really down. I couldn't get out of it because I knew I had did everything I was supposed to win that battle. I knew I knew it. You know, it was and there's people still online and still speaking up for me and still taking up for me and all that, trying to say, you know, plead my case that I won this battle. And I didn't do any of that. You know, I made my post and saluted my opponent and accepted my loss, and it's just fuel for the next one. It's just,
absolutely.
it's just you gotta, if you know you're something, then when it's your time to be that. It's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? The only way it doesn't happen is if you give up on yourself,
If you
and
give
that's
up,
where grind hard, never sleep come from. Like, I you know, I got kids, man. You know, I got two kids, a beautiful daughter, beautiful son,
got
uh, two kids. Like, I the one thing, it's a quote I got in my phone that I came up with myself, and I tell myself I could never tell my kids not to give up if I give up on myself.
you. Absolutely, absolutely. And people don't know. with children, uh, they see more than they tell you what they see, and they observe.
Absolutely.
They're so observant. That's how you'll see a video and a 2-year-old will say shit, and you're like, where did they learn that from? They learned it from you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Absolutely.
they're picking up on things and that's the time when your brain is, you can learn a language in 18 months, but when you're an adult, you can't learn a language in 18 months. But when you're
Oh,
a baby, you can. Think about that.
for sure.
That's how much they're absorbing. So them seeing you go out there and grinding in the face of defeat, in the face of victory, and still keeping that same level, it goes far, man. And
Yeah.
as a father, you got to salute that. So I huge
Yeah,
salute.
man.
I love it.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's my motivation right there, man. And my son, he was just a eye opener, cause he's me 2.0. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's already like, Dad, when we go into the studio, like he's already trying to record. He's 6 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Dream, isn't
He
it?
yeah, he did a beatbox for me the other day to one of my songs. Like he did a beatbox recreating the beat, and I was like, wow. Like, he was like, Dad, I learned one of your songs, so I'm thinking he about to rap it. And then he starts beatboxing the beat to the song, and I'm like, wow.
Bigger, better version. And that's the goal. I think every father's goal is, if I'm the Corvette, I want you to be the Z70. And you need to be the
Yeah,
next generation. I love that. I love it. Now looking ahead, you got the clothing line, you got the battle rap, you got the music scene. What projects or goals are you excited about? Are there any new directions or ventures that you're exploring that you're really excited about?
yeah, definitely the ebook. Like we talked about, I said it has been, tomorrow will be 2 weeks that the ebook is out, so it's still very new and very fresh. So this is actually, and I don't mind sharing it because I want artists to hear it. Like, this is actually a way for me to track data and to really experiment and see how well I can get my music out there without pushing my music. With doing the other things that I'm talented at, because the core of me being a musician is a writer.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think a lot of artists forget that we're talented writers, and forget that we can write books, forget we can write scripts, forget we can write books, forget we can write jingles, forget we can, you know, everything. Forget it's content creators out here who need writers. Forget,
Absolutely.
there's
So
movies that need,
sitcoms,
yeah,
everything starts with the pen, and if you can put words
exactly,
and metaphors together before there's concept art, before AI, it starts with a pen and an idea. And if you're an idea person, and like you said, a battle rap is essentially a mini play about one specific component.
yeah, yeah,
And
exactly. So
so,
like and I've had that skill since before I knew I wanted to do music. Like school, I've always writing class, essays. I write the essay the day before and get an ace. So the writing is like, and I know there's a lot of artists out here who are like that when it comes to the pen. Like, that was just something that naturally gravitated to you. You could just, write your essay the day before, or you up midnight and write your essay real quick, turn it in, and at least get a B.
yeah,
No effort at all.
no effort, no effort,
You
no.
know what I'm saying? Like, so realize what the true, where the foundation of what we doing is, and understand you can utilize that to open avenues for you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, the beauty of the internet, and just the way the world we live in, you can literally monetize anything.
anything, anything. You
You,
never,
you know what I'm
you
saying?
ever work hard, but you never have to work a day in your life. You never have to put a 9 to 5 a day in your life. You're gonna
For
work
sure.
harder as an independent or as a creator,
Yeah,
or you're gonna work harder than people now. Some days you wish you were, if
I'm
you,
telling you.
you know,
Listen, cause listen, man. Some days I miss 40 hours a week.
oh yeah,
Boy,
it,
40,
it
40 hours a week right now sound lovely.
it's
Like,
not for the faint of heart. I tell people when you're called to that creative spirit and you really embrace that journey, there's going to
yeah,
be days where you're like, man, I wish I was renting a car right now or something like that. But the
yeah,
overall reward, I think, at the end of the day, and learning and the experience, the journey that you mentioned, and another thing you
yeah,
mentioned about writing that I want the young artists to be out there. You may not have the voice, you may not have the cadence, you may not
yeah,
have the look, you may not have all the things that go into superstardom. But let me tell you, those publishing checks look fantastic.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
don't give up just because you may not have this or that. Look at the DOC. He was one of the dopest rappers ever. Had a terrible accident, but's been writing for Dr. Dre for years, uh,
Yeah,
without a voice. So make sure that you expand and put your hands in as many pots as you
hundred
possibly.
percent, one
Absolutely.
hundred percent, 100%. I definitely think, like you said, that's really important for artists to know, man. And also, like you were saying, the work, man. Like I can't stress this enough to new artists. Like you were saying something about advice for new artists, man. Is when I say grind hard, never sleep, man. The motto grind hard, never sleep, man. Started. I was 17. I got into some legal situation my senior year in high school. I got kicked out of high school, but I was like I said, just as well as writing, just school in general always came easy to me because it never really challenged me because it always felt like it was just if you copy and paste what they said, then you passed. Like,
It's
you know what I'm
memory.
saying? It's yeah. So I got kicked out, but I had enough credits already to still graduate. So uh, the legal situation, I had 10,000 hours of community service. Um, I still got accepted into college. So I went to college, but I still had to do this community service, and I still had to work to make money to live, and I still wanted to do music. So every day I would go to school, I would go to my community service, then I would go to work, then I would get off work. It would be 12, 1 o'clock by the time I get back to my dorm. And we had a dorm where we had a mic set up, and we would go, all like the ones on that hall, we were all, the rappers would all go there to record. So then I'm going there to record 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Then I got to be back up at 6 o'clock, and I would do this every day. And the guys used to be like, "Yo, bro, like, what are you doing?" And I used to be grind hard, never sleep. Like I used to always say it, and then it became a motto, it became a phrase, it became a lifestyle. It became me. It became a brand. It became something for people to resonate with and relate to, because there's so many people who feel they don't have the time and feel like they're stuck at this job, or they have to do this. They can't afford to take the risk of going all in, because you know what I'm saying. And I'm just, man, there's no excuse, man. you know there's because time is not the issue. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you got to do 10 minutes a week towards your goal.
It adds up.
I
It
don't care if you got to do 10 minutes a week. I don't care. 10 minutes a week, you will see progress. It might take you a year to see progress, but you're gonna see progress towards your goal. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So it's no. Make you can't tell me you ain't got 10 minutes a week.
Everybody
Cause if
got
you ain't got,
4
you know what I'm
hours.
saying?
Everybody
Hey,
got the same
you know
24.
what I'm saying? And I'm just saying the most extremes of situations. In the most extremes of situations, you got 10 minutes in a week.
Yeah. If you have a
You
smartphone, you can't say you don't have to. You spend
you know
10
what I'm
minutes
saying? Come on,
on
man. That
streaming
yeah,
lives.
exactly. And that's why I said in the most extreme, because social media. Somebody gonna type a paragraph about the worst situation possible. So I'm saying to cover the most extreme situations, you got 10 minutes a week. But for the average person, come on, man, you got an hour a day, you got 30 minutes a day.
Absolutely.
Because I know it because y'all liking my post on Facebook, so I know you had 30 minutes.
You
I know
doing
you
something?
I know you had it. You
You're
spent the
doing
30 minutes liking posts.
There you go. There you go. Watching the same old TV show you just
Yeah,
see 30,
and yeah.
30.
So come on, man. You can, and the problem is, like I said, the problem is people think there's a time. No, just enjoy the journey on where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey on where you're trying to go. Love where you at, but don't be complacent. And the elevation is going to happen naturally and when it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And then the more of the elevation, the more time you get back, the more freedom you get back, the more you can pour back into what you're doing, and then it grows, escalates even more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't people gotta stop being afraid of the baby steps. You know what I'm saying?
Just got to
Stop
get
being
started.
afraid of the baby steps.
Getting started is 50%.
I'm telling you.
It literally is. The rest of the grind will get you the other 50%. But just getting started and saying, I'm going to do that. And that's, if anything, losing weight, gaining weight, whatever, just getting started.
Yeah,
So
for
few
sure.
people are afraid to get started. And that fear will definitely hold you down. But, brother, this has been a pleasure. This has been a treat beyond treats. Speaking with you and getting behind the mind. That's what we do here on the Den.
Yeah, man, definitely enjoyed it.
And we before we hang up the boots next year, we definitely want to have you back on. Please let the people know where they can find you on social media, where they can find that book of yours, and we're definitely going to give away a copy. And any shout outs, the floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, man. First of all, thanks to Down in the Den, man. This has been a pleasure, a dope conversation, man. And I would definitely love to be back. Um, on all platforms, man. Real D Future on most platforms. Also, the brand Grind Hard Never Sleep is on all platforms. So you just search D Future or search Grind Hard Never Sleep. I'm on all platforms. And then the ebook Fuel for the Grind, a Hustler's Manifesto is on PayHip. It's on a link that I have specifically, but the link you can find on all of the pages that I have. So if you find me on Facebook on D Future or Grind Hard Never Sleep, the link will be there. If you find me on Instagram at Real D Future or the Grind Hard Never Sleep Instagram, the link will be on there. The same with TikTok and Twitter or X. Um, I'm on all the platforms, Real D Future or Grind Hard Never Sleep. Um, my more personal, my real name is Darren Fleming. If you follow me on Facebook on there as well, it's the same thing. I put all my information and promotion as well there as well. Um, so yeah, just follow me on all that. The PayHip is for the fuel for the grind, and I will be dropping merch and music and everything from this site coming soon. So y'all definitely be on the lookout for that. GHNS, my actual music project. I'm gonna be dropping my first official music project on all platforms at the end of this summer. But for now, I will be giving out different ways. Like you never know, you might buy a T-shirt and get 3 songs with the shirt. Like I'm really experimenting with that and really trying to just be creative with getting my music out and just enjoying it. The people that get it organically. So yeah, man. Salute to y'all, man.
Absolutely. Well, we'll put the link if you're looking on YouTube. If you're listening, we'll put the information on the page. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, wherever you're listening, and if you're watching the visual, we'll put it there in YouTube. Please support my man. You can hear he's going far. He's going absolutely far, and we're so happy to welcome you into the D.E.N community and support you on that grind that never
Yeah,
stops.
man.
We
Definitely appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode. We're already batting 1,000 this season. Join us for this final season. We're going to give you the best of the best, including brothers like my man D Future here. And as we end every episode, it's all about peace, love, unity, and respect. Deuces.